Hi guys, it's Mary. Welcome back. Today we are going to do an eye look, put on makeup, talk about this foundation, which is the new Beauty Blender Pounce Foundation. Use some more new makeup, and yeah, I'm going to be jabbering and talking about the Ponderosa. If you're game for that, then just keep watching. And I wanted to get this out so that you guys know that this is, like, depending on when I get it edited, it's coming back in restock. Should be out on November the 12th. So, yeah. Thinking I'm going to go with Jewel Bee, maybe. Yeah, let's do Jewel Bee. Let me get this brulee here. This is by Wet n Wild. And we'll just go from the crease up. I'm going to, yeah, make sure that I don't want to get it on my lid. Being 59 years old and slack eyelids, not nice taunt little eyelids. If I come in with, I don't know, what should we come in with? Let's come in with Tree Hopper. If I came in with Tree Hopper and I didn't do what I just now did, we'd be having us a problem. Oh, I know. Let's talk about this ashtray. Yeah, that sounds like an interesting topic. That's like my coffee, because I put my coffee cup in here to kind of help me from knocking it over. Do you guys remember ashtrays in restaurants? Back in the 80s, man, I even like smoked at my desk at work. I'm gonna come into Tree Hopper and let's do this. Just give a little bit of a same look I got going. My lids are naturally discolored. Did I ever tell you guys when I worked at the hospital, this cute little student told me my eyes were discolored like this, right? She comes up to me and said, maybe she was being facetious, right? That's probably what it was. She comes up to me and tells me, I really love your eyeshadow. What is it? And I go, no sleep. You get enough. No, it's called no sleep. It's called getting older, okay? My eyelids are dark. Yeah, I love your eyeshadow. What kind is it? Anyway, this is going to be a fast little look here. I just mainly wanted to use the palette so I can remind you that it is going to be restocked. Who knows how long it's going to be restocked, but it's going to be restocked. I'm going to use my E55 and get Jewel Bee. My mom gave me this ashtray when I was over there. Me and my sister went over and cleaned off the sunroom porch, you know, got rid of the treadmill. It's here in my little bitty bedroom. Like I got room for it. You know, I figure I can't walk in the wintertime. It'll be good for me to be able to walk. But we had gone over there and cleaned up the porch, you know, got rid of, I mean, they planned on doing it, but, you know, that gave Mom a change of scenery. And I'm just coming right up to that color there. Not, you know, getting real precise with anything. It's like just putting some purple on. I was talking to Mel one day, and I don't remember what I was talking to her about. I was in the kitchen just kind of messing around, and she's like, Jewel Bee! You're right. Now you made me lose my train of thought. No. You're right. It's Jewel Bee. Yeah, anyway, I mean, it is a unique purple color, right? I think so. Anyway, this ashtray's been like on this shelf on the sunroom forever and ever. And I just kind of like picked it up and said, yeah, remember when we used to be able to smoke whenever we went to a restaurant? She's like, yeah. And I go, why do you still have this? Just curious. I mean, me and my brother both used to work there. My brother worked at Bonanza and Ponderosa before, and I worked at Ponderosa. She said, I was just hanging on to it to give to whichever one of you worked at Ponderosa someday. And I'm like, well, I worked at Ponderosa. And she goes, okay, you can have it. And I was like, yeah, my brother's name worked there too. But he also worked at Bonanza, so he wasn't a true blue Ponderosa person, okay? But then we started talking, and it reminded me of this story that I don't think she had ever heard before. It's probably a good thing. So my mom and dad, they went like on a bowling tournament thing. I mean, they didn't leave us very long, but they left us maybe a night, and I was in charge. If I wasn't 18, I was really close to it. So they left me and him there and took my sister with them to this bowling tournament. Look, it's like every look I do, I use Spider, so let's just use Spider. Even if I'm not in the Tiny Marvels palette, I still go get Spider. Anyway, so they had gone to this tournament, okay? And so I'm in charge, large and in charge. I have to make dang sure he's doing everything he's supposed to. Do I need to tell you that my teenage brother, I mean, okay, if I'm 18, let's say I'm 18, that makes him 16. Okay, and we know he at least was 16 because he's driving a vehicle. So my brother had a Nova, a Charger, something, I don't know. And I have a white 69 Chevy Impala. I'm so cool. I'll tell you what, I wish I still had that car. I wish I had that car back. All right, but anyway, so he was working at Ponderosa. He was a dish boy in the back. So I go to the Ponderosa and check to see if his car's there. Well, it is, okay? But suspiciously, the trunk is out open. It's up. So he actually did go to work, but why did he leave his trunk up, right? So I go coasting through there with my car. I see him come out of the back. So I'm like, what are you going to do? Hide behind a bush? I'm in a car, okay? So I go whip into a parking spot and hope that he can't see me, right? And I'm just going to spy on him and see what he's doing because he's got something in his hands and it looks like it might be beer. You know he doesn't watch this channel, right? This will be the video that he watches. All right, well, anyway. So what he's got is a case of Little Kings. Obviously, him and his friends are going to have a party.
Not on my watch.
He puts this case of Little Kings in his trunk. Then he goes back inside, but he leaves the trunk open. So I'm like, oh, he's going to get more? So he goes in. He gets another case of Little Kings. Of course, Little Kings are little beers, right? So I don't remember how little. It's been forever. I don't even know if they still make Little Kings. But anyway, so he comes out with another one and puts that in the trunk. And then he goes back in. At this point, I don't know if he's just going in to talk or if he's going to get even more Little Kings. But I make my move. I decide that no, they're not going to take these Little Kings. And I put the car in drive and I get over there really quick, get out of the car, and I'm getting the cases and putting them in my car. Now think about this for a second. We are both underage. Right, so I get the case of Little Kings and I run over and I throw them in my trunk. And then I go back to get the second one and I'm almost to my trunk to put them in there and he sees me, okay? And I'm like, oh, shut the trunk, get in the driver's seat. He comes out, he's like, stop. I'm sure he called me some kind of a name. And I'm burning rubber out of this parking lot. I tear out on the road. He gets in his car. He tears after me. Now I'm going to use this Urban Decay 24/7. This is in... what is it? Psychedelic Sister or something? Yeah. Put some on my lid. Here. Anyway, we're running all over town. Chasing each other. Or he's chasing me, actually. I'm not chasing him. I'm trying to get away from him. And I don't need to tell you that we're not being safe. I got a little bit more glump there than I wanted. We're not thinking about safety. My thought is... I gotta protect him from himself, okay? Mom and Dad are gonna be very disappointed. Mom and Dad are gonna be very disappointed, okay, in me if I let him get drunk while they're gone, okay? And he could get in all kinds of trouble. They're not gonna be the least bit disappointed if their children get in a wreck or if we get pulled over by the police, God forbid, and all this is going on. No, I need to move this, okay, because it's kind of melty. This might actually be going to stay in my water line because it's kind of melted for some reason. Remember when we used to take those Maybelline eyeliners with the little red pencils and light them on fire to get them soft like that? Oh my gosh. Anyway, so we're going up and down the streets of our town. I'm chasing him and he is being really dangerous, okay? Because he is mad as a hornet. I don't know where he got the beer, but chances are, wherever he got this, he wasn't going to be able to score any more of it. And so he was wanting that beer back. He's willing to risk both of our lives to get it. Finally, I just go home, right? I figure we're better off having this little tiff, fight, whatever, in front of all the neighbors, right? Maybe if I go home, he'll leave me alone. And because he won't surely want all the neighbors to know what he's doing. Would he? I think I want to bring a web just a little bit more in the corner. So I'm just going to tap, maybe I'll tap that and Joby and bring them together right here. Just kind of come in like that. Okay, we could argue that I went too far. What am I going to be, Batman or something? These are like my bat wings in there. I don't know. Here, let me just get the E55 with some more Joby on it. Maybe we can tone it down a little. Web is like one of these shades that you're like, whoa. Anyway, so the look on my mom's face when I was telling her this story, it kind of was like, I don't think she knew that. I actually don't remember. I think he did end up getting them away from me and whatnot. But the whole point of it was that we both used to work at Ponderosa. That was something that we did. Yeah. All right, so once again, I was running my mouth and talking when I should have put concealer under here instead of doing underneath my eyes. I hate it when I do this stuff. All right, let's see if we can do this. All right, with the tiniest bit of concealer, which I'm going to put right there and right there. Okay. I better get a brush because I don't have a really good feeling about this. I'm going to use this one here, the 4D HD, and let's get at least a 5 by up here so I can see a little bit of what I'm doing. What restaurants did you guys used to work at? I worked at Steak and Shake once, and I got fired. I only worked there 3 days, okay, because the only reason they hired me was because I fit the uniform that they had. They had this uniform there, and I fit it, so I was hired on the spot because he goes, what size do you wear? I said I wore a 10, and he goes, okay, you're hired. So it wasn't because they thought I'd make a good waitress or anything. And so I had to get these new shoes, right? I had to be these black shoes. So I get the black shoes, but because they weren't broke in and I worked such ridiculously long hours, the first day, my feet got these blisters. And then the next day, they got worse. They opened up and they were bleeding and pus was coming out of them and everything. And I couldn't hardly walk. So the third day, I told them, I can't walk. You know, my feet have blisters all over them and pus oozing and stuff, and I can't walk. And they said, okay, you're fired. So my career there didn't last very long. Over the years, I've told you guys various places that I've worked, but yeah, Ponderosa. Now that there aren't any more Ponderosas, I can tell you some stories about Ponderosa. All right. I don't know, maybe there is a Ponderosa where you live. Where I live in Indiana, or at least in someplace I would drive, they're all gone. Let me get my mascara on, and I will film me doing my brows for a different video, right? And then I'll come back and tell you the rest of the stories of Ponderosa when we put on foundation, okay? Okay, it's a deal.
2 hours later.
Okay, I'm back, and now that's a far. I forgot to light my candle. I can't be a beauty guru if I don't have a candle in the background. Actually, I can't write off my candles if I don't have a candle burning in the background. Okay, I have a damp sponge, not a beauty blender sponge, but I don't know, maybe it'll work different if I had a beauty blender sponge, but let's do this. Now, this isn't a time test or anything. It's just a new foundation I picked up, and I thought you might want to see it, you know, because the Sephora sale is still going on. And okay, so this is by Beauty Blender. It's called Bounce, I think. It's a skin tint, and it's not a surprise. I have wore it before, but I totally ruined it when I put this over it. Okay, first of all, before anybody sees a video where this was on the vanity, and they go, oh yeah, she can't afford anything. She's always saying she doesn't have any money, and she's got La Prairie powder sitting on her vanity. This was bought for me by Allison of the Fritzy family. She bought it for me shortly after Mel went to be with the Lord, okay, because she knew that I would never try this any other way, right? And anyway, I love the smell of this powder. It has a very strong scent that I happen to love the smell of, but we're not going to use it because I'm having problems with this powder. Some of it was because of my skin peeling off, but I don't want to do anything different than I normally do when I put on this foundation. So first, let's get a primer. This is the Pure Silk. Now this one, Mercier sent me. I have the hydrating one that I bought myself, but they sent me this one. So let's put that here on the outskirts. I'm not so sure I want to go over my pores. Well, we'll just tap it, okay? I don't even know why I did that, because this foundation doesn't really need a luminous primer. But anyway, so this says Skin Tint on it. Don't use more than a drop. I got almost a pump and a splat there. Here's the consistency of it. As I put that on, I will tell you, you know, you can't judge a book by its cover, right? So when I worked at Ponderosa, there was this guy there, and his name was Benny. And Benny was like this big, soft, teddy bear, sweet kind of guy. Till you made him mad. So you know what he did? This story is why whenever I go out and I get a steak, if I can't see the cook cooking it, then I'll send it back and say I don't want that anymore or something, but I won't order another one. Okay. Because Benny at Ponderosa, if you sent your steak back, I saw him one day. This guy sent his steak back because he didn't like the way it was cooked. And Benny killed a fly and put it under the steak on the plate. Well, that guy, I mean, he may have eventually noticed there was a dead fly and he just ate it. But by the time he noticed it, yeah. Shy Guy worked in more restaurants than me. He won't complain about anything in a restaurant. So Benny did that. I'm going to tell on him right now. I'm doing it. I'm telling on him. I mean, he just seemed like he would never do anything wrong. You let me know if you worked in restaurants that you had better know how to skate. Because when you would walk in the back, you'd be like slipping and sliding all over the place, hanging on to things so you didn't fall down because of all the grease. And now you know that if people knew that, they probably wouldn't want to eat there. I think you can see by looking what I mean about not needing a radiant primer under it. It would have looked like this anyway. Okay, this is how much I've got left of that pump. I wanted to show you guys that when I put on my mascara, I got a little bit of the mascara and stuff on my lid. Okay, so I wanted to show you the new brush coming into my brush set here. This is one reason I like it. Not only would it be good for, you know, smaller spaces for lids, you know, hooded eyes or mono lids, but if you make a mistake, you know, with your mascara, and then you have to come in with a shader and fix it. Don't you usually get eyeshadow in your lashes? You won't with this brush. The E21 coming to a glitzy fritzy essential eye set near you sometime this month. Oh, I know a good one. So, this is in the late 70s, right? I mean, totally different time frame. Imagine if this happened today, okay? I'm going to tell you a story. If you're in my age group, you know that this stuff happened all the time. But, if you are of the younger generation, I want to tell you that this stuff happened all the time, okay? But we just kind of took care of it ourselves. So this is a race car driver, and I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to tarnish anybody's memory or whatever, because it wasn't just him. This kind of stuff happened all the time back then. You kind of just knew that when you went to work that one of the things that you were going to have to do was, you know, put up with people smacking your butts and doing what you can to stay out of their arm's reach. Okay, that's just how it was. This little face palette just came in the new Lancome holiday box, which I don't know if you've seen me review yet or not, but I like it. I've worn it a few times now and I like it. So I'm just going to take this Rephr 18 and come right into the bronzer and tap it right on my cheeks. Anyway, so this was in May, of course, because the Indianapolis 500 was going on, and this was a race car driver. So you know that he's a race car driver from the late 70s. All right. Well, anyway, so he comes to the Ponderosa to eat. They are like looked up to by fans and stuff. And those kinds of people back then they pretty much get by with anything because, you know, people admire them and stuff. And it was just a different world, okay? It was a different world. It's a world where you can smoke cigarettes in restaurants and get drunk and go to work and drive your car and, you know, put your hands up waitresses' skirts. So this is what happened. And I had a really short skirt too because, okay, I had a bod. And a few of the places I worked, they were like, put on a tighter uniform. It's just how it worked, all right? Well, anyway, I'm running around the dining room with the coffee pot, giving people refills on their coffee. And this race car driver's wanting his coffee topped off. He wants a refill. I'm sure he also liked my skirt. Okay, I know because when I got over there, as I'm filling his coffee up, he took his hand and come up the back of my skirt and grabbed my butt. And I just went and poured it in his lap. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. You startled me. He got the drift. But by gosh, if I was close enough to pour your coffee and you put your hand up my dress, you might get some coffee in your lap. I have been wearing these lip liners and lipsticks from Lisa J's BK Beauty line. I love them. And it's been kind of fun because I'm not looking. I'm just grabbing one. This one here, I don't know what it is. It's Warm Spice. Okay, so today is Warm Spice. And then I'll just grab a lipstick because they all go together. I don't have to think, will this go with that? They all go together. So, yeah. So you guys know what I want, right? I want you to tell me your stories because I love to read your stories. Okay, this one is Impassion. So, Yeah. I like that. I like that color. All right, I hope you guys know you're the best part of the Fritzy family and that if you're not having a blessed day, just go be a blessing to somebody else. And until next time, love you, see ya, bye. And I'm out. I got powder all over me.
Where'd it go? I can't find it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where are you? I forgot what I was looking for. I suppose he could have not told the cook right, but, you know, chances are, though you have a steak uncooked, it's not the waitress' fault. When you walked in the back room, you were slip-sliding away. You know, I got my shimmy going, can you see me sliding away? Imagine if this happened today, okay? I'm going to tell you a story about a man named Chad, a poor mountaineer who barely kept his family fed. And then one day, when he was looking for some food, up through the ground came a bubbling crude. Oil, that is. Black gold, Texas tea. Well, the next thing you know, Jed's a millionaire. Stop it, Mary. You know, they get their food for free, they get their money for nothing, and their chicks for free. Or so he thought. He got his money for nothing and his chicks for free. Yeah, he just drives a car fast. That ain't hard. That's the way you do it. You play your guitar on your MTV.